up, y'all? Welcome back, my fellow mutants. Welcome back to Mutants Only Podcast, where we review and discuss our favorite X-Men comics. I am your co-host, Spicy Lady, and join with me are my fellow Brotherhood members, JV, Beater Blurred, and Blur Central. Today we got a lot to talk about. We got some juicy X-Men comics news. We're also gonna be reviewing some more classic X-Men issues 25 to 27. But first, how's everyone been doing? I know we kind of talked earlier, but how's everyone doing? What y'all been reading, watching? I know
Ooh.
Peter Blair, if you want to go first with your
Yeah,
eventful
yeah,
weekend.
yeah. Yeah, I had a good weekend at DreamCon this weekend. It was lit. Shout out to RDC for throwing a good event this year. It grows and improves every year. Forget what everybody's telling you, whoever's like talking it down, definitely pull up next year. Anime Improv went great. I had a packed out room. Shout out to Question Podcast and Hubtaku and everyone for the show me love. I appreciate that. I was humbled by that whole experience. Did a couple cosplay meetups. Those were there. I did Spider-Man Noir. I did a haiku cosplay. I did
Okay.
another cosplay too. I can't think of the other cosplay I did. What the hell other cosplay did I do? I think I only did those two cosplays. I was getting hot, and I was like, I don't feel like cosplaying no more. So I think I only did those two cosplays. Chill out.
Wait,
And
lit.
chill out. And so like I as I just chill. I'm sorry, my dogs.
It's okay.
But But yeah, it was a good weekend. Besides that, what I'm reading, I've been reading a lot of. I haven't really been. It's crazy. I've been diving into comics lately, but I've really been reading like a lot of. I've been reading this Yoda comic, the Star Wars Yoda comic. I've been thinking it's pretty dope. I'm reading this High Republic comic, Star Wars comic called The Blade, which is pretty hard about this Jedi who's just really good with a lightsaber. I've been reading a lot of God of High Schools. I've been trying to finish that since it's finished now. Definitely always in the Lower Olympus. That the mid-season finale just happened. So she's on a 4 month break.
Yes.
I'm sick.
Mm.
Um, I've been reading Ordeal. Ordeal was just cooking up some gas. I actually didn't even finish a chapter last night. I fell asleep reading it. Um, yeah, that's kind of what I've been really on right lately. Just trying to catch up on some comics. Of course, I just caught up on this One Piece. That's gas right now. One Piece is just on this thing. Catching up on manga like Blue Lock and Boruto came out this week too. See, like man, I got some shit to catch up on. But yeah, that's what I've been reading lately. Good weekend, good vibe. Shout out to everybody who supported me. Definitely appreciate it.
Sorry, my alarm. But no, that's lit. I love that. Ordeal's a really good one. That's on my list. I've been meaning to read. But that
Okay.
Lord Olympus is just straight heat. The writer, she just keeps writing bangers every chance she gets. So I love it. Blur Essentials, anything you've been doing reading this week?
Yeah. See, I've just been trying to catch up on a bunch of things. Feels like forever since we came back together, so
I know. It's
it's
been a
been so
minute.
much. So I've been practicing on my well, mostly for right now, I've been practicing on my Mortal Kombat 1. Been trying to do that. If y'all weren't hip, I am representing Nobi Gaming at new the
Hey.
event going on is going to be Waka Flocka versus Sonic Fox. You got Shadow 20
Lit.
versus Ninja Killer and Curly Hair Bobby versus, I think, Raw Swagger and a whole bunch of different other side matches going on. You might see me play a match or two. Hopefully, I don't get my ass whooped too much, but, commentated by Tasty Steve, yikes, all of that. That's going to be at the Bertrand Arena, and that's September 18th, the day before the game drops. So,
Okay.
check out the Nobi Gaming Twitch channel. I think it's also going to be on the Mortal Kombat Twitch channel. So, check that out. Definitely check that out. That's mostly what I've been practicing, mostly doing with my time, other than like reading comic. I haven't been reading much outside of X-Men. I've been reading, of course, like what's going on currently. Got that Hellfire Gala 2023 done.
Crazy.
Just blew me all to high heaven. But outside of that, just I've been reading like some Spider-Man comics, some crazy shit going on with Spider-Man right now. He's trying to kill Craven. I've been reading Bloodline. Blade, the
Ooh, I need
vampire
to read
slayer, has
that.
a daughter, and it's actually really good. There's only about like 5 issues right now. Hopefully, it gets continued, or we at least see her because they left it. The first 5 issues. That's usually their little tester, see if it sells well. If it sells well, character gets a few more issues, but I don't know if it sold too well, but hopefully they left it open ended at the end of issue 5, 6. So, hopefully we can see her again, if not in her own comic, in Blade's new comic that's coming out later on, because I really enjoy her story, doing all that. So if you haven't read Bloodline, go ahead, read Bloodline because that's amazing. Other than that, like manga, haven't been reading too much manga. I have been watching some series though, some new what was it called? Dom 100. Has anybody seen that?
Yes,
Oh my God.
everyone's talking
Oh my
about it.
God.
Not
Oh my,
seen
It's
listen,
kind
that's
of it's sort of like High School of the Dead meet, but like for the workplace.
but good, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
But like exactly. It's High School of the Dead, but good. You know what
but
I'm
good.
saying? And it's caught
That's
my
cool
eye.
too. I
I
took
love,
offense to
I
that.
mean, we all loved it. I loved it, what I'm saying? But that's like Fast and Furious good, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right. That
so
is
we
the
can we
best
can
way to
all
put
admit.
that.
We can all
It is.
admit, you know what I'm saying? That's our popcorn, want to see some boobies jiggling. Yeah, sure. Awesome. Let's get High School of the Dead.
And
We get
the
some real stuff.
anime,
Yeah, Zom 100.
and it's funny because the anime actually is coming out with a live action series as well. Like it's gonna be kind of like out at the same time, which I thought was interesting. I think it's coming on Netflix, so I was like, okay, I can have live action
Yeah,
anime at the
and it
same
was pretty
time.
good. And yeah, that was I loved it. It's only a couple episodes in right now, but it's such a good watch. You binge it right now. But something that you could actually also binge all of right now, Tengoku Denmakyo Heavenly Delusion. I've just finished all of that. That's fucking crazy. Listen, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but it's like, listen, if y'all had like, maybe like a like Promise Neverland meets Parasite, that's all I'm gonna say. Put that those two
Sold.
together, and this is what you got. Listen, Tengoku Daimakyo. It's on Hulu. It's on Crunchyroll. Go ahead or Heavenly Delusion is what it is in English. Just go ahead and just watch that. But other than that, that's pretty much what I've been doing. Trying to get diamond ranked in Street Fighter. Still doing
Okay.
that. Still doing that. We're so close. And other than that, just streaming all types of, on my Twitch channel, and that's all I've been doing, in the last month or so since we've been separated.
Look at my friends doing big things. I'm so happy.
lit, bro. That's lit as hell.
Yeah.
What about you, JB? What you been up to?
For
You know
me,
JB cooking.
it has
Right.
been a great time to be a movie fan. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part One, so fucking good. Oppenheimer, amazing. One of the best films
Looking
I've seen
hoppy
in a
outside.
long time. I've already seen it 4 times. I'm seeing it again on Friday in 70 millimeter. I can't wait. As far as comics, I did read Bloodline, really good. Like Blurred said, definitely read that. Go check it out. I also picked up the new Blade run, picked up the new #1 last week. So that first issue was good. I'm excited to see where it goes because it's been a while since Blade had a good solo comic by himself. So very
Hallelujah.
excited for that. Yeah. And there's also a new Alien run going on right now. That's also really good. Like the last two storylines that they did were all really good. So if you haven't read the Alien comics, go read them. Really good stuff. As far as content creating wise, I have my review of Oppenheimer on the website. I'm actually really proud of it. Like I just sat there and just typed forever. It was a really good review, if I do say so myself.
Yes.
Ooh,
Been doing some podcasts, doing some
speak on
other
it.
some collaborations with some friends from back home in the Virgin Islands, and just trying to find different ways to create, man. So it's been fun. I'll let you know some more stuff when I can.
Yes. I'm so happy. I'm so happy, y'all. It's good to be back. As for me, I recently finished reading Bishop Board College. It was a fun miniseries. I think
Yeah, Black X-Men.
I love Beast's design. I was like, what? Attracted to don't
What
like
is this doing to me?
right. Look, like it was like the freeform dreads. I was like, I need Beast to look like this all the time. But yeah, no, I really liked. I think they're Earth 31, Earth 32. I'm like, can we move to Earth 32? Because they're lit over there. They got advanced technology. Everybody's living in peace and harmony. Like, I enjoyed it. It was fun. I liked seeing the kids kind of like learn how to deal with Bishop and Bishop learning how to not be such a hard ass on them, but still giving them what they need. Which, looking at the fall of X, them kids needed that push, because where we are now is kind of crazy. But yeah, I did like that issue with it. I think that's all I've been really reading. I'm still up to date on My Hero, JJK. Nothing much really going on in those 2 chapters, especially My Hero. JJK, I'm getting my spotty senses. I'm feeling things are gonna happen. I think Gege might go that direction, and when he does, a lot of people are gonna be crying. And if he doesn't, cool. But it's not. I think we might be going that route with a certain character. I'm not gonna spoil it too much. But yeah, other than that, I'm posting more frequently on my YouTube channel for those who follow me. More reaction trailer videos. I have a video about to post soon, probably right after all of this. Kind of talking about all of the Loki season 2 trailer with time slipping, which I'm like, that's freaking cool. And everything else that's been kind of announced, including X-Men 97, where we got some details that Jean Grey will be pregnant, and we were all like, who could the baby be? After getting that news. So yeah, I'm just really excited. We're on issue 25. It was the night before Christmas, where Nightcrawler is entering yet another volcano base. And we also get a flashback to a debriefing with the team, where we get introduced to the self-proclaimed arms dealer Moses Magnum, who for some reason wants to take over Japan, but also threatens to destroy it with his Magnum Force if he can't become his new ruler, because villain logic. But what were y'all thoughts on Moses Magnum and his Magnum Force and his demands?
Well, Spicy, I am so glad you asked, and I'm gonna go first. I think he's one of the most boring villains I have ever read. Definitely the most boring villain since we've started this show. I don't even get it. Like he is so generic in every way imaginable. This character has so much power, and he does absolutely fuck all with it. It's just like, I could destroy you where you stand, mutant, but why would I waste my power when my Mark II mandroids can do it for me? I'm like, are you kidding me, bro? Just do it! Like, if you have so much power, then just fucking do it! It makes no sense at all. That infuriated me, if you couldn't guess. It just makes no sense to me. Since he showed up, I'm like, okay, why do you want to destroy Japan? If you want to rule it, why do you want to sink it? Who knows? Because he's an idiot. It doesn't matter. And that's all I have to say about Moses Magnum. I've been James. Thank you.
My God.
Love that. I love that transition. That was so freaking hilarious. Because that's what I thought too, looking at him. I'm like, sir, you fought Luke Cage, Power Man at the time, and you get this new power by from Apocalypse, which we're gonna get into a little later, and then you just like completely not use any of it. Like you like it was just so freaking hilarious. But yeah, Blair, do you have any thoughts on Moses Magnus and his evil ploys?
Oh, bruh. Man. Bruh was just pitiful. I'm sorry. I gotta give him the infamous 2 thumbs down. Oh my goodness. Like you said, like, see this right here, this is why I believe why Apocalypse really don't bang with humans like that, ever like that. Cause like I swear to God, he was like, let me just try this human thing. Like they gonna be on the earth too. We might have to test them. And then this is what that dude does, and we see how he is in House of X. He's just like, fuck you all. I can't, like, cause bruh, what was his plan? Honestly, I just don't think, that was my thing, like thinking about it. I'm like, okay, even reading it, I could be like, suspend my disbelief a little bit. I'm like, okay, he's going to destroy all of Japan. Why Japan? I don't know. F the Japanese people, apparently, but there we go. So, okay, so it's just Japan. For whatever reason, does he want anything? Do he make no demands? Where are the Avengers? Beast over here with the Avengers card. Just da 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 da. Avengers are good. I'm like, that's just Japan, you know. See, and I'm just like over here. This is why they portray us the way they do in like My Hero Academia. But like it's just I he's unremarkable in every way. And for like you said, like in for every power that he has, it literally takes just the smallest distraction for them to just gang up on him and literally just stomp him out. He lasts probably as long as his hairline, and that's about it. That's he's unremarkable in every way. It's a shame. It's such a shame.
They did do his hairline dirty. I'm not gonna lie. He looked like somebody's uncle with that hairline.
It's
Um,
diabolical because there's this one damn panel that is so like I feel like they did this on purpose where they just have his damn his forehead smack in the middle of the panel like he's like the leader or something. And I
um,
swear like they took a picture of the leader and colored in black. But I'm just like that's just how they did my man's hairline.
I'm screaming. Johanna, oh, you're still muted. Yes, we can hear you now.
But now
I didn't know. I had to switch my Zoom to my mic. Am I clear? Am I coming out clear?
now you are.
Hmm.
Okay, awesome, cool. I'm trying to figure out this mic. I don't make fun of me, but I got a blue Yeti. Um, but
That's right.
See.
Magnum, man, this Jefferson hairline having ass nigga.
Ah,
He's interesting. He's kind of dude. I kind of like JB said. He's a real generic villain, and like he's just so boring to me. It's just like I want to go like he remind me of that dude. You know that meme where the nigga like sees the girl with the thug and shit, and he see the girl and he be like, oh man, none of these girls like nerds. And then like he finally goes to, gets his scholarship and thought things are going to change in college, but no, you still a cornball, bro. And so instead of like, working on himself, he decides that like, you just say, you know what, I'm gonna take over the world. And you know what I'm gonna go after? I'm gonna go out to Japan. I'm gonna go to Japan because they got all the kind of girls I fetish over all the time and Naruto and Sailor Moon and shit. And I'm just going to sink this massive island because I'm a fucking cornball. And that's how I felt about Magnum. He's corny as hell. Like, and it makes it more corny is because it makes him more corny because people respect him. You have this thing saying, "Oh well, this guy is the heir to the title of Anthony Stark's arms dealer and shit." You know what I mean? He could be that next badass guy. He could be out here on Sunset Boulevard bagging women. But no, he wants to sink Japan and shit instead of going to visit it. You could build something in Japan, probably revitalize the whole fucking country. Get them stop using plastic so much and wrapping blood in plastic twice and 4 times. But no, you want to sink the whole country because you a bitch. That's okay because he's corny. But that's it's old writing. That's what they do. I wish they would did a black man a little better than this, but it's cool. Like we moved. We still got Storm. So it's all right. So
I do agree. They could have they could have done better. Well, self proclaimed, he was not given this
Right.
title.
Self-proclaimed, you're right. What makes it worse? Hold on, one more thing. What makes it worse is you have the first black nigga, the first mutant, second first mutant. I guess he was the first, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say? Who's a nigga? So he's also your brother, and he gives you power. And you don't know how to use it. Brother? That's like Malcolm X coming to me and sitting a book in front of me and be like, bro, here's all the tools you need to move as a black man, and he need not read it and use it properly. Start dating white women. I'm a clown. Like it's ridiculous. Like, but anyway, that's all I had to say about Melvin. Won't cut you off.
Dude, he hits Colossal so hard, he did not even know what hit him, dude. Like, he is so powerful. Finish them off. If this is your goal, finish them off. Nope, I'm just gonna go leave, and I'll just stand around my Magnum Force and let my man droids do it. Why? Okay, sure, man.
Which are literally the Mark, Tony Stark's like Mark II droids. It's like you just copying the Starks' whole like flow here with this. But yeah, he knocks out Cyclops, which was crazy. He literally jumps the X-Men, which we're gonna kind of circle back to what was happening in the sea, which I thought was really cool with Cyclops and Sunfire. Yeah. But he decks Wolverine, which freaking surprises Cyclops. He's like, good lord, he decked Wolverine. I cried reading that panel. And then he's just like, yeah, I don't do this no more. Here, robots, you'll do this. And Banshee was like, where do you think you're going?
Nah, Banshee was like me. That was so disrespectful. That man just straight cold cocked you and then left you to his man. So I'm just like, what? Well, you ain't even give me a chance to throw another punch. Wow.
Crazy. But kind of circling back a little bit from Moses, talk about Nightcrawler and the team kind of like working together to put off the sonar readings of Moses is like mountain a layer thing. Banshee using supersonic scream to mess with the satellite. Banshee's also dealing with the fact that he's old, and I liked how we he get old. So I like that we got that from him where he's contemplating like, should I even be X-Men anymore and do this? But him still like rediscovering what he can do with his sonic scream. But I did like how he used to scream to kind of like battle the satellite, and then how like the worker there was like trying to like, knock him off. He was like, gotta be quicker than that. And he kind of like deflected it. I was like, okay, I see you, Banshee. So yeah, I like that group stuff. And then Cyclops, Sunfire, and Colossus and Wolverine going below through the molten rock, which I thought was a cool team up. I was like, okay, Cyclops, Sunfire. I like this little team up. But what are your thoughts on those two things with the team trying to like come to the actual base of Moses?
I thought that was cool as hell. Like I like seeing fucking Firestar, right?
Sunfire.
Sunfire and Cyclops work together to, I think I said it before. I love watching the mutants work together to use their powers in tandem to actually get shit happen and make shit done. It kind of reminds me of that chapter with Storm when she was, using her powers to get through the Earth's crust. I thought that was really dope. I think I always love Nightcrawler because he's always key. He's leaning more into his espionage skills, and I appreciated that. Like everybody has a role, and that's what I like the most about this chapter is like seeing people's roles play out. I appreciate the chapter with Banshee. I mean, the panel with Banshee saying he's getting old, but it's just so cool how Banshee uses his powers and how he has to like kind of quickly think about how he's going to use his powers, and just like knowing that you have to sit there and lower this frequency to do it. Like that's showing like that's real high IQ, like superpower IQ. Like it's just like being aware of your powers and knowing how to scale them to fit the situation is just 100% solid to me.
Right. JB.
Yeah, I'll just echo that. Like I loved Banshee in this chapter. Like him like moving his sonic scream up and down the harmonic scale in order to block communications. He has to perfectly match the frequencies constantly in order for the rest of the team to get in. So I love that the fact that the team is split into 3 teams. You got Storm and Banshee, then you have Cyclops, Sunfire, Colossus, and Wolverine under the bedrock of the ocean. One failed swoop and it's all over for them, right? One wrong move and gallons of water will drown them, right? You can imagine the heat, right? Cyclops using his optic beams, Sunfire, blasting it with his sun powers, with his fire powers. It's really hot and anything could go wrong at any moment, but Cyclops is a great leader, right? He's keeping the team on task. He's out in front, keeping them calm, trying to stay into communications, and this is where Nightcrawler gets his step up as well. Yes, I know, I'm saying good things about Cyclops. But with Nightcrawler, him using his powers is always really special to me because his teleportation powers can seem simple, but they're very complicated, right? If he doesn't know where he's going, he could end up in between a wall, which would make him very dead. So he's always taking a chance when he's using his powers, and he's doing it because that's what the team needs, right? So I love how the X-Men works together. So loved all of that stuff. This is really, really great teamwork. And then we'll get this when we get into, the last issue that we're going to talk about, how that teamwork works against Alpha Flight. So I'm excited to talk about that once we get to it.
Yeah. And I kind of want to bring up the one panel where Banshee like deflects the beam back at one of the workers and is saying the man manning the cannon will be deaf for a few days, but at least they'll be alive. And I'm just like, imagine hearing that kind of scream and how like what it would do to your eardrums, like freaking crazy. Blurry, tell me your thoughts on just the teamwork we've been seeing throughout this comic.
Oh, the teamwork just on 1,000. This is why the X-Men are the X-Men. They just work in tandem in ways that just make other people just look like chumps for real. Like I like the way that they structured these comics because I sort of feel like a rhythm or like a formula that they got now, because it's sort of like, okay, big bad villain, they introduce them, all right, we all gonna jump them, but generally they're more powerful than, all of them individually. Then they start being like, okay, I don't like you don't like him, but we gonna sit there, work together, and they all find a way to just come back at them and just overwhelm the enemy and just like in ways that are so creative. Like, I don't know. I thought honestly Banshee was useless. You know, just and so I love when they find ways to be like, okay, damn, yeah, that's pretty hot. Like what JB was saying, like you gotta find the exact frequency. And he's flying as well. When you really think about that, it's so crazy because he's flying. He doesn't have the ability to just fly. Like, he's literally using his scream to propel himself. So he's yelling at the ground and then having to yell in whatever direction that the beams are coming from in the right pitch. So it's just like that, all of that was amazing. Storm just obviously just being the goddess that she is, just swooping niggas up in just like literally with one hand. It's crazy. And I got to give it to my man Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler is always good because I love the when they point out the fact that he's invisible in shadows. So it's like he's the perfect, person to just infiltrate in everywhere. Like JB was saying, he's taking a risk every single time he goes into these places, and he's not dead yet. He, all the way up to the Krakoa age, he's been alive. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he died once, but he came back to life. So it just shows you that's that man. He keeps on doing it. He does this like maybe like 10, 15 times a week and still finds a way to not die. So that just shows how not good he is with his powers generally, but still how much he learns being with
Right.
a group, So, and the
Right.
fact that he can stick on walls and stuff, I feel like people forget that he can do that like almost as well as Spider-Man. And and just again, like I gotta give it up to the MVP, the one and only, of course, my man Scott Cornelius Summers.
Not
That's
the
my
middle
man.
name.
Not my nigga
The
Scott
middle
Cornelius.
name.
Whoa!
Listen,
Whoa!
he is the
Cornelius.
GOAT team, and I need y'all to understand here that y'all hate him. Y'all hate him because he's the revolutionary
Until
of
Oh,
Jean
all
shows up
this,
relax.
Oh
again.
my
right?
god!
Right. I
Listen,
want to say
y'all don't even
revolutionary. Let's
understand.
relax.
Oh
Listen,
my
y'all
god!
don't even understand. Listen, I messed up this day, but wait till next episode. I'm gonna have my Cyclops was right shirt on,
Oh my
and we
god.
are all gonna have to just realize that that was the case here. We can talk about Hellfire God and all that, but
You hear this,
just
man?
over here, this I'm telling you, my man's Scott Sequavius Summers
Oh
is
my
my
gosh.
just
Oh my god!
so he composes everybody. He breaks up all the teams. You know what I'm saying? He
I'm
knows what people got to do. Like JB was saying,
I'm
he's
crying.
sitting there tunneling through the earth with his eyeball. You know what I'm saying? Under
This
the
is
the, the pressure of hundreds of thousands of millions of gallons of water. They're all gonna die if this man just tilts his head in the wrong direction.
Not only that, they were under like limited air supply. So it's like if they were depending on Nightcrawler's signal, because if they were not there, like they were gonna run out of air and possibly get blown up. So I did like those things. I was like, wow, like the trust that Cyclops as a leader must have to have in his team in order to make these plans go through. I was like,
Telling
I
you.
see why he'd be
Because they're
trusted so
genius
bad.
plans. I saw a comment on one of the videos where they're just like, "Oh well, Cyclops just leads everybody to death. They ain't die yet. They ain't die
Not
yet.
double did you die though. Oh my
So
gosh.
listen. They ain't die yet.
So
So
all
every
right.
time Scott comes up with these crazy plans, that's just him being genius because they always work.
So moving on, kind of backpedaling a little bit. Well, not really. All right, so kind of moving forward. So after Magnus decides that he wants to run away and have his Mark droids fight the X-Men, this is when Colossus swoops in and is like, nah, tag me in, coach, because I got you. Which I appreciated because before when he got knocked out, he was like, what's going on? Like, I've never experienced this before. So I like that with Colossus. This is when Benchy tries to stop Magnus, but finds out something's blocking his sonic scream. He then puts two and two together on what Magnus's Magnum Force is. This is where we get the flashback Magnus, where we heard in the beginning this man has died twice, and we find out that Luke Cage, after defeating him falling to his immediate death with his power drill, Apocalypse just boops him, teleports him, was like, "Hey, yo, man, like your style. You want to work for me?" And I'm just like, "All right." And so what are your thoughts on that flashback? Because Apocalypse looked real crazy in this scene. Like he looked real like evil, which I kind of liked. But this conversation was crazy. But what are your thoughts on this little mini flashback?
Like I have to keep on. Like, Apocalypse is like the number one villain in all of Marvel that don't get that spot. But it's just like I love the fact that he's just like, yeah, I showed up. I I picked a dud here. Listen, I know you wasn't what you promised to be. It's all right. I'm gonna torture you a little bit. You gonna be fine, and then put some straight back out there. I love the fact that this plants a bunch of seeds with just two panels, with just like two, three panels. This plants so many seeds for like the end of Dark Phoenix saga, going into like the Age of Apocalypse, going into like all the stuff with like Days of Future Past, like just with him saying just a few lines. That shit was crazy. But he really, like you said, even the way he's drawn, it really just gives off like real like final boss there. Like Akuma fighting, beating up the final boss, and then you have to fight him aura. And that's what Apocalypse is. That's what he always been. So I appreciated this little theme that's in here.
Johan?
I echo what Emilio said. I always looked at Apocalypse that way, and especially in his older comic scene, that like this is like his appearance, right? Like this is like his like his walk into the regions. And I thought it was just pretty cool. Did I hear that? Okay, I don't hear that. I thought it was pretty cool that we got this like again get a nice little slice of Apocalypse. I appreciate what you said earlier about Banshee figuring out what was going on with him. I love flashbacks in general, with chapters because it gives you a nice little in depth of what may come. And I think the foreshadowing of Apocalypse was good because he's always been that guy. And I don't really know. I only recently started learning more about Apocalypse when I started reading the Krakoa art comics. So it's just like cool, and then also just read because like I read a lot of them in Ultimate Comics, but I really wanted to know who Apocalypse are, Alban Sora, right? So I'm like, all right, this dude is really strong as fuck. He's a problem, and so I can't wait till we start seeing more of him to see how much of a problem he was now in these comics, and why niggas have so much animosity towards him when he came. I know about Age of Apocalypse. I know about that. Like I'm very aware of that. But to see why so many people have so much animosity towards this man when he comes to Krakoa, which is pretty awesome to me. So yeah, solid piece of work put in the chapter.
Yeah, it's always great to see Apocalypse. This is his 1L though. I don't know how you saw this guy as like, you know what? I'll waste some of my power on this guy. Sure, that this was not it. His whole plan again is like, give Japan to me or else I'll blow it up. I want it, but I'll blow it up so no one can have it. Meh. No, this is not the guy. Like, this is a waste of power. Like, but yes, it was great to see Apocalypse.
I low-key feel like Apocalypse was just like testing his little experiments. I think Moses was experiment. I don't think he expected much from him. I think he just liked his chaotic energy and was like, you know what?
Better off experimenting on a rock. The rock would get more done. I'm sorry.
I had to fuck with the intention though. He was trying to keep that affirmative action alive. It just
you see a black man take an L, you want to help. You see a fellow black man take an L, you want to pull him up, bro. And like
that's his thing.
Right.
You know, he helped
the youth. That's the youth. Apocalypse like 3,000 years old. That's the youth.
Right.
Like
sometimes you have to know a lost cause when you see one.
You see what happens when you fuck these little ghetto ass hood rats? They get a couple dollars and they start using it wrong. And that's exactly what he did.
Bad investment.
You can't help everybody. Man.
Exactly. That's why that's why he hates human.
But I love how he said, "You cause chaos. I thrive on it." Like I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. But like you should at least give that man a plan though. Like after him giving his whole life to you, you should at least gave him some kind of direction. But with these kind of villains, they're like, "Oh, I was just testing out. He was like a throwaway." So you know how this stuff goes. But we'll see. So now we get into the good stuff with Banshee. figuring out how to fight against Moses's Magnum Force, which I think is giving him the MVP moment, because like we've been saying in this chapter, the amount of focus and fortitude Banshee must have in order to use his sonic scream to slide a base of sound energy across the base of the island as it counters against Magnus's Magnus Force. A lot of freaking M's. And destroying the volcano base. For some reason I put fire wordplay on panels. Why did I say that? I don't know. But anyway, we got thoughts on this with Banshee and Magnus basically having like a energy sonic battle. JB.
I thought this was amazing. This is the definition of pushing beyond your limits. Like, he knew that this was something that could either kill him or injure him greatly. And it's like, I don't have a choice. If I don't do this, everyone on the country of Japan, they're done. They're all dead, right? So this was a huge moment for him. And again, he has to release so much energy. He has to match the frequency of the energy of the Magnum Force in order to stop it, in order to blow up the entire island. That was a ridiculous hero moment for Banshee. Definitely VIP of this chapter for sure. Again, he did not know what was going to happen to him, and yet he did it anyway because that was the only choice. He knew that he was the only one that could stop it, and he put everything on the line to do it. So, yeah, kudos to Banshee.
Yeah, everything that JV said, I loved this whole thing. Like, again, I thought Banshee was useless. I love when these issues come in, and like that's like one of my favorite tropes. It's like, give me the character that I care least about, or at least I'm like, okay, he's useless, and then show me that they're not, useless, that they should be on this team next to people like freaking Storm and Cyclops and Wolverine and all that. And I'm just like, I love the whole thing where he's pushing beyond his limits. The art, I had to point out the whole thing with the art. I don't talk about the art a lot in this, but the way John Bolton and Kieran Dwyer put like the penciling together of just him straining, and then of course like with um, what's his face, his big old head with his M hairline going on, which is just old crooked hairline, and then even just the giving it up to Terry Austin with the inker that had to did the coloring of that with just on one panel it being yellow in the background and then Banshee having the red in the background, just color combinations that you don't really even see nowadays, and it like just making these comics so like much more like bright, and they like pop off the page, and you really see it in these like specific panels where Banshee is having this sonic scream battle of the bands with my mans over here. So that is something that I love to point out, and just like, yeah, like just go Banshee, like you're not useless. And it's like, I guess that's like the best thing I could say about him.
I agree. I did like the pain of agony on Banshee's face in that panel with him and Magnus, where it's like his face is like almost swollen, but like the shading inside his mouth like looking like fire with kind of like representing his scream. I did like that detail when I was going through it. And of course all of the X-Men reacting to this, I assume death pitching sonic screen, I'm sure. But yeah, Johan.
I echo what you guys said. I mean, I basically said it all, said a mouthful. It's cool when we said it multiple times, and which kind of makes X-Men comics great is that people get their moment, and that's what I appreciate about this. Banshee getting his moment. Banshee's had quite a few moments leading up to this as well, but on each of those moments, he just takes it up another level, and that's one thing I appreciate about his character. Because honestly, like they're gonna hate me for this. Before we start reading this comic, I thought Banshee was corny. Like I really thought like he was just like, I'm like, this thing can scream. Like I don't give a fuck about that, dog. Like you can't do nothing with that, man. You got superpowers to scream. I got Shorty screaming at me all the goddamn time. Like yeah, like what? Like, right. But then I'm seeing him. All right, there's more to it. Like this guy, he can control the levels and pitch and stuff. He can make himself a sound that only dolls can hear. I think that's cool. Like I think that Banshee's that guy now. Now I'm seeing him actually do like using his power. And I'm like, all right, like I fuck with you. Like I like how you move. I see how you moving, and I like it. You know what I mean? So like, I appreciate the moment. I also appreciate them, like y'all said, them showing the X-Men reacting to his power, because it would have been really corny if they didn't show, like, if he was just using his power and going past his limit. It would have been really corny if you didn't see like the after effects of it. Like even if like the team isn't permanently damaged, or like from what I see, they should have permanent hearing loss, but it is what it is. It's fiction. We can give grace, and it really would have been nothing. And also seeing Magnet struggle against that, like, oh no, I gotta take it up a level, but I don't think I can, like, so it's like that arm wrestling. I've kind of like, I would have been cool if I saw blood come out of Banshee's mouth, but when I saw this little two panel here with them, y'all can't see it because the media don't work that way, but like I had a vision. That I remember that meme video where the dude was arm wrestling the other dude, and he was talking to him like, yeah, you got it, yeah. Oh yeah, man, keep doing it. Yeah, man. Just go lean into it. Yeah, use your forearms, man. Like that's how I felt about Banshee. I thought it was dope. Great moment for Banshee.
First of all, I don't know we had so much Banshee hate beginning of this podcast.
It wasn't hate. It was ignorant. It was ignorant.
Exactly. It was just like he's just there.
It was just like what is the point of this man? Like,
I always thought he was underused because I mean there's so many applications for frequencies and what can be done and like matching frequencies and stuff like that. So it just takes a competent writer to bring that stuff out. So
I don't know about fucking sound and frequencies. I went to school for hospitality, man. Like I got an MBA. Like I know numbers and P&Ls and ROI. I don't know about that shit. Like I'm just like, oh man, like all right, maybe I should have been in a science class, but like I was bad at math, so I said fuck it. Like so I thought it was cool.
But and it's kind of like I think it's kind of why like why the comics exist is where like it's cool how they put these learning experience where it's like here's fact to back up. You know what I'm saying, in terms of learning about different science things, even with Storm, how that affects the weather pattern, just really letting kids into these fictional heroes, but also letting them learn something new at the same time with these things. So I think it's really cool. All right, so aftermath of that, because of Banshee Scream, the blast resulted in the change in the entire seafloor, which I thought was crazy. I was like, damn. That man was yelling for his life. Sunfire spotted by Misty Knight, who then rescues the team. And that's when we find out that Banshee, he can't scream no more like that. And then we find out some relationship stuff with Cyclops and what's her name?
Colleen.
Colleen. I'm like, Missy, I'm gonna need you to call your roommate up. And let her know. But Missy was like, girl, that ain't none of my business. So yeah, what are y'all thoughts on like I guess the after effects of Banshee Scream and how Banshee low-key thought that the X-Men forgot about him, which I was like, boy, this your family, they ain't gonna forget about you. But your thoughts on that with the hospital scene and the different conversations and really Misty Knight kind of like being an onlooker into the X-Men family. JB, wanna go first?
Yeah. The Christmas party was cute. I like the surprise for Banshee. Yeah, it's like, come on, dude. They're not gonna not visit you in the hospital. They're not leaving you high and dry. They're leaving you a big surprise for saving all of Japan and putting your life and your ability to be a hero on the line. So I thought that was cool. Everything between like Scott and Colleen, it's boring to me because I know it's not going to lead to anything, and it's just like drama to cut between like him and Jean whenever they get back together. It's I don't care for it. That kind of stuff, you can skip me with that stuff. But the Christmas party was cute. I really did like it.
I did like how Wolverine was just like, all right, I gotta go. My girl here, like he dipped out with the quickness. But I do like the moment with Storm and Colossus and Nightcrawler where they kind of have this really cute intimate moment, and I think he calls her sis, like big sis or something like that. I'm like, they're so freaking cute. I love them. But we got thoughts on, I guess, Blur. You want to go up next?
Yeah, like it's just so nice just seeing like they all have this family moment, after almost dying. So we love that. Oh, like you said, it's just so cute. Just like, Peter being the, big softy. He's just huge metal teddy bear. I love him. He is just so wholesome, like quite like myself, and it's just so great seeing, like, and the little peck on the cheek that Storm gave, Nightcrawler. What I'm saying, he's just gonna be riding high for like weeks after that, and I don't blame him, to be honest. Like, that's just he's living the dream. And all of it's so nice, even though I feel like we've celebrated like Christmas like 5 times in the past like couple months here. Like, so I'm not sure like where the timetable is happening in this. So I'm just gonna say that, like, okay, they've just been here for some years. You know what I mean? Like, this because it does make sense where I'm just like, okay, maybe there's some years happening in between these comics, or like like long stretches of time, because it's kind of it's kind of hard to believe that these people still functioning, like, literally after just going from one crisis to another crisis, literally not even going home to take a damn shower, you know, and then the next person's trying to kill them. So
Right.
that's a pretty good time. That's something that makes sense. But all in all, I just really like that. The whole thing with Scott and Colleen, I'm saying, well, Colleen's just there. Luke Cage ain't there, I'm saying. Scott Sequavius Summers is just gonna sit there and just get his shit in. So there's no real, like JB said, there's no real story there. He's just gonna get in where he fits in. Gene out here being, Genie, and so he's got to do what he's got to do. Otherwise, and
Yeah.
it's one of the rare W's that I gotta give Wolverine, because like you said, just he's just like, oh yeah, my girl here, I'm out, peace, bye y'all don't need me, we getting paid for this, no, all right, my girl here, bye. What I'm saying? So the rare W that I say, okay, Logan, I got you. Me and you is right here with that one.
I'm
But other
screaming.
than that, I love it. It's like one big family, and I feel like you really need these moments, because it's easy to skip these moments after and just go to the next crisis and be like, okay, like more fists, more shooting, blasting. And it's like, no, you need this. This is why people love these characters, because they're like feel like real people.
Right. There definitely has to be a slowing down where it's like people have to like process what just happened, deal with
Right.
their own emotions of what just happened. Like we see with Colossus where he's like, y'all my family and all, but I also got a real family in Russia who I don't get to see on
Literally.
Christmas. So I gotta deal with that. But yeah, yo, any last thoughts before we get into the last half
Um,
the thing with Myra
I
and
love a slice of life moment in comics and shit. And I think one thing I appreciated was, the vulnerability that Banshee showed, being upset, like, oh man, my friends didn't show up, but it's okay. Like, yeah, sometimes you're a person, like, some people, you don't think people showing up for you. You're like, oh, it's all right. Like, it's cool. Like, I'll get them next time. But then he rationalizes and is like, no, it's not okay. Like, like, nah, like, what the fuck? Like, we a team and shit. Y'all talk all this hot shit and y'all ain't pulling up. Fuck out of here, boy. You know what? I'm gonna call my shorty. I'm gonna talk to her. I'm gonna get some yams. I'm gonna feel better. And then he walks in and they're like, oh my God, you guys are here. Oh shit, I just said all this shit about you guys. All right, well, what's up? Like, I thought that was really cool. I thought that was like a cool little moment. I love a smooth nigga. So Wolverine ducking off when we saw Moriko. I thought that was cool. Like, it was just like, all right, I see what you niggas doing. Like, I said my highs, my buys, congratulations, we alive. All right, I'm gonna go get me something, y'all means. And my shoe bop do dop dop do dop and go give me some manga, keep it moving. So I fuck with Wolverine on that. I love, like I said, the touching moment between Storm, Nightcrawler, and Colossus. I thought that was really cool because when you go through these really hard, like these life or death situations, it's easy to forget that like you really formed a bond over this. Like we almost died together, yo. Like like we're family at this point. Like we're locked in. Like we've been going through a lot of crazy shit together, but this one was a real one. Like, and we like yo, I love you guys. Like I love you guys. Like please. And then Klaus is like, I love you guys too, but you know what I mean? Y'all my second family. I got my other family at home. You ain't the main. You feel me? Like, you know what I mean? Like I pay a little bills over here and talk to my little bastard kid, but like everybody else, like y'all cool. So I appreciate Cyclops for his honesty. I thought that was cool.
yeah, and I just realized Storm is wearing a kimono. I'm like, wait, she's so cute. Her little yellow and blue kimono. We love Storm's outfits. Again, the
And
designer of Storm just freaking loves her. They're like, let's dress her up. So
Always
yeah.
iconic.
All right, so
are we going to talk about that Wolverine?
yes.
Okay, cool. Because I love that shit. That shit was gas.
So to end things off, Jean visits Myra over in Scotland and happy reunion. But Doom lurks over Muir Island, which is the base of Myra's mutant research facility. And we also got to look at a certain mutant X pop up, which it's funny because the boat guy from some random chapter wanted revenge on the X-Men, so he was gonna be nosy and see what happens when you're nosy. And I thought that was funny. So I'm like, okay. What are your thoughts on that with the reveal of Mutant X and the history of that? I can start with Blurred.
I actually was really surprised because I didn't think Mutant X or any of that stuff from like any of the what is that storyline? Storyline's coming up. That any of that shows up this early in it, and I just love again that they're planting all these seeds because again, it's like you have all these daily you know random nobodies that the X-Men are fighting, but then just like right in the middle of them, it can only be like one panel. It can only be like one page, but it's something that's like really foreboding, and it's like, oh shit, that's Apocalypse. Oh shit, wait, hold on, that's Muir Island. Mutant X is coming. Wait, and then they won't talk about it for like 5, 6 more issues. And but in the back of your head, it's just being like, okay, wait, hold on, wait. I just saw him do this, and then that goes back there. Like they just like when they did that with the Hellfire Gala or the Hellfire Club back then. I was just like, whoa, like okay, hold on. You got Emma Frost and Sebastian Stan over here. They're already doing all their shit in the background, which makes sense because before they were even revealed, they were talking about how they were doing all this shit in the background. So I was like, okay, so I really like how they did that. Moira's a bitch. I don't like her. She, reading all of this with the context that we have now really grinds my gears. I just like you ever see that one meme of Walter White and he's just in the joint. He's just like, get away from her. That's just how I feel with Jean. It's like, nah, get away from her now. And I just hope she just like at some point falls in a ditch somewhere. Um, and yeah, like that whole thing is like really, really foreboding with Mutant X, and then the Wolverine side comic that we're gonna get to, which I love because he gets his ass whooped, which is always good seeing Wolverine get his ass whooped.
JB.
Yeah, for me, I love whenever Muir Island comes up. I don't know what it is, but I love it when it comes up. And then the slight tease to Mutant X and how that's gonna play in, and like you guys already mentioned, dude, is just like a small little tease, and then we pivot to something else, and then we'll make our way back around to it. Like I like when comics do that, where it's just like, oh shit, what's going on there, and then you kind of just have to build up the anticipation to get to it. So yeah, I like that little addition that they put onto the end.
Johan, we can move on to talking
Um,
a little bit of the Wolverine side.
I thought it was cool. I mean, unfortunately, niggas don't take hints and shit. Like humans always curious and want to get mad, even though niggas gave you bread for whatever broken. Like you can't let it go. Like when niggas
Right.
like it's over. Like I don't even know why. I get why you mad, but niggas paid you for it. So like I don't even get what you upset. Like you was probably you wasn't even using it. Like I don't even get what you upset about. So this is what you get. Like you came in someone's bait, try to blow up, and then you was hoping it was gonna hurt somebody. You a cornball. Like get over it. Like move on with your life, bro. But I did like a little Easter egg was to find out about Mutant X. I thought that was pretty cool. Yo, JB, you said something real quick, yo, before we move on. About what we know about Moira McTaggart now. This is technically one of her one of her lives, right? So this like would this be like the first one, like the second one, probably.
Technically, since this is before, if you would think about it in publication history, this came out in like 1978. So this is before Age of Apocalypse. And we know Age of Apocalypse was her what, like fifth or sixth, something of it, like something that was like Age of Apocalypse was like her fifth, sixth one. So this technically, I guess, would be her third life, third life.
Okay.
Probably, probably like yeah, like when she was still trying to work with the X-Men.
Okay. That first time when she first kind of tried to like, so this isn't the time when she tried to romance Xavier. So it's probably okay. I get it.
It
Thank
should be like, they play it kind of loose with that, but it's just like when
Yeah.
you see Xavier probably just like lose all interest in her, that's generally probably when it switches into her next life, like her fourth life. But
Hmm.
there be some certain things because this is also a remastered comic, so they try to put back in 1980 something. They went back and put extra stuff that they were gonna do back in 1970 in it. But all that stuff, some of that stuff gets retconned. So there you'll see some stuff kind of like in different places,
you.
but they
Okay.
kind of just take different themes and just be like, okay, that was this life, that was that life.
All right. I need to I just now learned about Myra's like her multiple life things and how Sinister used her. I was like, okay, this is interesting. So I need to do more research on her. But now moving on to this bonus episode of Wolverine, which I enjoyed. I actually read it full way through. I liked how this like random hunter was like, oh, I'm gonna hunt me a beast in this Wolverine. So what are your thoughts on this bonus issue? I really liked how like Wolverine was one of the one kind of hunting the hunter. Like, look at this idiot. Like
I should was fucking gaslighting. He was like, as I move,
right.
does he know that he's being tracked invisibly? I'm silent as a mouse. I'm fucking Sly Cooper in this bitch, and Wolverine's like, motherfucker. Does he want to stop or like I'm getting sick and tired of this shit. And then when he catches the arrow, he's like, how could this beast do it? And he to take out a bear. I'm just like, who the fuck do you think he was tracking? Like it was just like, I mean, you didn't know, you know what I mean? But you fucking around and found out.
Right. And I think Wolverine was like, what is he doing? He's like he's so loud. Like, why is he so
You know when
loud?
Drax thought he was being invisible?
Yeah, that's him. That was him. I love that. It was fun, but I liked the conversation Wolverine has with himself when he fights the bear. He was like, there was no need for this, but it is what it is. But it's like here goes this annoying behind Hunter again, thinking that he has any ploy in this. And I'm sick and tired of it.
I love watching Wolverine fight bears, man. Like those are my
You
favorite
got to.
those are favorite panels. Like Wolverine, he just be fucking bears up, and it'd be like, God damn, like you supposed to lean and lay down or something, right? Like run up a tree. And I was like, but no, Wolverine's like, fuck it.
Meanwhile, he blew up a base with people inside. I was like, wait, what? Wolverine.
Right, not to mention himself.
Right,
My man
himself.
sat there, just blew up, looked like the Human Torch for 2 panels. Just ran up, just started walking by. It's like, all right, whatever, let's go. I'm shirtless in 2-degree weather. Fuck
I
it.
did like the art style of this. Like Wolverine looked very disgruntled. He looked and disfigured too, of like a beast type of. And so I did like how, from a hunter's view from far away, of course he looks like a beast. But I do like how he look up close and he's just a regular old man who got blew up.
I don't know why I like when like one thing you're always going to see with Wolverine, they're always going to work it in there. He's you're going to see him with red skin. Like it's always going to be you're always going to see him with like his skin like always healing. And I think like when he's in that form of like he just like got blown up or something like that, I feel like he's at his best. Like it's just like when he's in his costume and stuff, I'm like, all right, that's Wolverine. But when he gets fucked up, that's Wolverine. Like this nigga.
Yeah.
And I do like how he was like annoyed, but he's also aware. He's like, yeah, my healing can only do so much against this frostbite. Like, gotta get covered. So I did like those details where it's like, although strong, he still has limitations himself. So
Facts.
I did like this. JV, your thoughts before I move on to another Wolverine centric issue?
Yeah, this was really, really fun. Like you guys said, I'll just echo what you said. Like, I love it when we get to see Primal Wolverine out in the wilderness fighting bears. Like, one of my favorite Marvel cartoons is when he Wolverine versus Hulk. I thought that was so epic.
Yeah.
Like the fact that the military finds Wolverine and sends him after the Hulk, because he's the only one that could survive a battle with this guy. So I thought that was cool to watch Wolverine fighting a bear. And like you said, Spicy, you have the hunter looking at Wolverine through a scope and seeing an animal. I thought that was cool. Also, the hunter looking at these two apex predators and like, dude, you have no business being here, so maybe you should leave because this is not the place for you. But again, just watching Wolverine fight a bear and kill a bear, it just shows you how visceral he can be and how dangerous Wolverine is. So it's good to see the parallel sides of Wolverine. We ended, the main issue with Wolverine and Mariko and him like revealing his real name, and then we get to see the animal side of Wolverine. So really cool.
I will say this: I feel like I need to play like manly man, like the whole time, like as he was just fighting, because it was just a fire issue. All right, time to move on to issue 26, Wanted Wolverine Dead or Alive, where we see the return of Alpha Flight, and this time they're coming for Wolverine. We get introduced to North Star, Shaman, Snowbird, Sasquatch, and Aurora. Alpha Flight was we found out Alpha Flight was put together. They're known as like Canada's Avengers because they didn't want to depend on the Avengers or Shield for help. But Hudson isn't a fan of capturing Logan and wants to keep the X-Men as allies instead of enemies. And we also see like another side to Hudson, which I like because he kind of got his butt whooped in the previous issues. So it was nice to kind of see him, get a little more leeway into it. So what are your thoughts on the introduction of Alpha Flight? Johan.
I'm tired of this Canadian propaganda, but these niggas are nice and they friendly and shit, like for real. Cause like it's just some bullshit. Like they like, come on, like this dude already left and shit. And, like you keep trying to like pull him back in. Like this is like the second time we done seen them try to rope him back in, trying to kidnap this man. Like, yo, like leave him alone. Like now if he kill you and lock you off, you're gonna be sick, But he keep trying to tell you he's done, and you keep trying to make him the leader and shit. And he's like, no, I'm good. Like I made my decision. I left the team. Period. Leave it alone. Go back to your maple syrup and keep it pushing in your snow. I don't get it. And who are you niggas? Like, and it's just like you only got formed because y'all didn't want to rely on the team. When the team you can rely on is much better than you anyway. So like, I don't even understand what's the whole issue. Like, let's leave niggas alone. I'm tired of Canadians. I don't know. Every time Alpha Flight, ever since I first learned about Alpha Flight, I just think they just been corny. I mean, maybe I just don't like Canada because I'm like American and biased. But like, it's just like, goddamn, like, y'all just leave niggas alone. You always got our name in your mouth. Like, stop it.
I gotta say the same because them niggas, I can't stand Alpha Flight, them knockoff Avengers, them dollar store Avengers, them Dollar General, you know what I'm saying? Dollar General X-Men, you know what I'm saying? The knockoff X-Force. Listen, I don't like none of them. I don't like none of them whatsoever. It's just like Canada in real life. They do one good thing, maybe two good things. They make Wolverine, and they can't let it go. They're like, no, we need him back. Yo, no, that's our dude. No, listen, my man's is in America right now. He's on the beach chilling. It's like Canada when they keep trying to claim Drake. No, that man wants to be from Houston. All right, that man is
Or
in Houston
Jamaica now, because
he's definitely not from Canada. Listen, until he decides he wants to go back there, start speaking French again. That ain't, you know what I'm saying? That's just like Canada in real life. They got one good thing going for them, and they can't let that shit go.
On God.
And then they make a whole bunch of knockoffs of that same thing, and then we got a bunch of Party Next Doors and motherfucking all them other ones. That's Alpha Flight right there.
Bar for bar, thieves, man. It's crazy.
Thieves, the whole flow.
And I get it from like, in terms of like investing so much money into this project. It's like, hell no, like you are too expensive. Like I get that on Canada's aspect, but then it's like that man already told you he put in his 2 weeks notice, not even his 2 weeks notice. Like he told you right then and there in the room, I'm out. Like, and if you come for me, which they try to do, like you're not gonna be happy. So it's like I don't know why.
Can you imagine how sick you'd be? You quit McDonald's, start working at Chipotle, and your manager storm in like, "Yo, come the fuck back!" Like, are you crazy? Like, I'm saying, I'm making burritos now. I'm not flipping burgers. Leave me alone. I live my life. I'm a
right. Making a whole $5 extra.
Jamie, tell me your thoughts on that. And Hudson, because Hudson's torn. He's like, look, like I don't want to do this. Like really, I wish it was back to the old days where Wolverine was here. But right now, it's like I don't want to make the X-Men enemies. Like, doesn't make any sense.
Hudson acting like Drake.
These panels were very like dramatic though. Like I will say that.
Yeah, I echo the sentiment on Alpha Flight. I don't care about Alpha Flight until they meet up with the X-Men. Until that happens, I'll never read anything they do. I don't really care. They are just the discount Avengers, whatever they want to be. Hudson, I do think Hudson's a cool guy. He's a soldier. He follows orders. He just wants to do what's right, and he wants to safeguard his country. Right? There's nothing wrong with that. So it's just like Alpha Flight is what it is. But I mean, they're boring. I don't really care. But just like, yeah, I mean, Wolverine is an extreme asset, right? So to let him go would be ridiculous. But again, you also don't want to make enemies of the X-Men, right? Just in case you need them, vice versa. So yeah, it's a tricky situation, but you know, politicians, that's how they think. So it's just like, well, we put a bunch of money into this guy. He could be serving us, not them. Go get him, but somehow keep peace with the X-Men, even though he's been with them for however long now. So yeah, it didn't work because it was a stupid idea. So there you go.
Literally. All right. So further moving into Jean and Myra, where here we're learning that Jean no longer needs food or is affected by the cold or heat. Thanks to the Phoenix Force, her kind of getting more in tune with it. And she still thinks that the X-Men are dead. And then I think her and Myra have conversations, was kind of weird. Like, Myra, why are you like hanging out in the middle of the night and out somewhere? Like, that was kind of suspicious. But what are your thoughts on that in terms of Jean kind of like exploring more of her Phoenix powers and how she's like, I don't need to eat or really, feel any heat or cold anymore?
I thought it was cool. I really thought it was cool. Like I thought it was like um it would have been really easy for like them to write her and draw her like this using her powers and shit. But I thought it was really interesting how she started questioning her own humanity and more her own mortality. And like, even with her saving them from the shuttle, it's just like now she's not only questioning like, I'm calling myself human, but am I really like I was resurrected? That's only for gods. As humans don't really use that power, but also going a step further, which is ironic given what we know now. But also the fact that she's questioning whether her saving lives even matters. Like, and I thought that was just really interesting because it's just like I save your life today, but you can die tomorrow because we're always in some shit. So it's just like, what's my place in all this? And are my actions really even matter? And do my actions actually even are a real consequence at the end of the day? I thought that was pretty cool between that conversation between her and Moira.
Yeah, JB.
Yeah, I echo that completely, dude. Like this is how you write OP characters, in my opinion. You have to give deep characterization to them because you have to ask yourself these questions. Am I still human? Like you said, like she was resurrected and essentially turned into a god. This is someone that channeled cosmic forces. You know what I mean? You no longer need to eat like a human being. You're no longer affected by the weather and all of these things. What is your place among humanity? No matter how many people you save, you could lose a bunch of them. What does that do to you mentally, knowing that you have all of that power, knowing that you can't save everyone? So it's just a constant battle dealing with that kind of power, bringing it back to Spider-Man, like always, with great power comes great responsibility, and how you deal with that and try to have a normal life too. Like that's the other thing. Like they're heroes, but they also deserve to have normal lives. And with someone that has that kind of power, can you have a normal life? So I like those kind of questions.
And like here you see where she's like saying like talking about Scott, where she's like his strength, his love reminded me, reinforced what it meant to be human. And then she was like, without him, and I'm just like, oh, Jean, girl, girl, you don't
Yeah,
need him. You
no,
don't need him, girl.
what are you talking? Listen. What are you talking about? That's Scott Big Dingus um Summers right there. Listen, that women need them in their life, in
Oh
his
my
life. But
goodness.
it's I'm telling you, listen. But I loved all these panels. Like you said, she's out here in the booty shorts and stuff like that, and probably like 0 degree weather. And it's just like, how do you and first of all, wait, hold on, before I even get to that, what is Moira doing there? Shady shit.
Just
Fuck
stand
her.
out in the dark, weirdo. What are you
You
doing?
know what I'm saying? Shady ass shit, goddamn Android ass. Now we
Literally.
know. 2020, hindsight 2020 should have barbecued her ass right there, especially after this last Hellfire Gala. You go sit there and she was probably plotting on her ass in this very moment right here. Let me see how I can sneak up on her. But anyway, just love the way that this is all comes out. Like JB said, like this is how you write OP characters. You know what I'm saying? Like you could very much see like, yo, this is just a chick who's just trying to have a life, but yet she's out here with these unfathomable world-ending powers that are just like, that she can't even comprehend because she got them literally last week or maybe possibly 2 Christmases ago. Nobody knows. Um, but like we it's so good seeing this because I almost in the conversation that they had where, like Moira even talks to her about like the, you know, not drifting too far out of perspective and stuff like that. And I'm just like, oh, it almost made me forget that she's a devious bitch. And like, I really, really like the way that it all comes. Like, you have Jean in one panel, and then they switch over, like, with the penciling and the art with the red eyes, and it's almost like it's still Jean, but is it not? It brings up all these great questions, especially when we do get to the Dark Phoenix saga and we do get to, when she does literally destroy an entire planet, not even planet, an entire star system of people like the Kree and all that. So that's not even one planet now that I'm thinking that's an entire galaxy that had hundreds of planets in it that had millions and billions of people in it, and she just killed all of them. But then they retcon it, or they maybe retcon it, or maybe don't retcon it, where it's like, oh, that was the Phoenix Force, and maybe Jean wasn't in control, or maybe Jean was in control, and she's blaming it on the Phoenix Force. I think that stuff like this really even back then before it happens adds wrinkles to those contexts because that's what I really find interesting, especially like in publications and retcons and stuff like that, because you read this stuff and it's like, what's the line here between like the actual story and then like the actual like what they're doing on the publication side, and it's like, okay, did she do it? Like, because this was brought up in a run during, I think, like Dawn of X, like right down where I think it was like one of those aliens that were like gambling all those planets. They were like, well, how is this any different than what you did? You killed all those people and stuff like that. And then, we like to see like Jean Grey as this, you know, perfect angel redhead woman, but like, she's done some shit, and it even gets brought up again in during Judgment Day, where the Celestial himself like kind of basically confirms, maybe kind of confirms, because it was like a half dead Celestial, like that, oh, that was Jean that, was in control when she wiped out like 90% of the Kree race, like so
Yeah.
it's a good wrinkle to like her character, and this just all like really this whole conversation adds to that where it's like, she is a person, she's trying to deal with these otherworldly powers, but she like we said, otherworldly powers where she could kill zillions of people, and she actually eventually does. So, and then dealing with that is just, it's so good because you see she does have a conscience. She does
Right.
care about people like that, and it's all just revealed with Moira and all of that. So I love that whole interaction.
I feel like we've been seeing her kind of like going through this for like a few chapters now and some of the bonus episodes. So it was nice to see this moment really in like real time. All right, so moving on. So the team are getting ready to leave Japan after getting a really nice send off from Sunrise after him being like, "Don't call me no more." Bye. And now he's like, "All right, you save my home. Y'all all right with me." And so but and we get a nice little sweet moment between Wolverine and Mariko. It was so freaking cute. Oh my gosh! And he tells her what his name is, and I was like, his little smile. I was like, cool, Wolverine, so freaking cute. And then we move into the team taking off, and we get a look at we have two women pilots, which I thought was really cool with the time period that this comic book issue came out to see two women pilots like in a comic book. I was like, that's freaking badass. I freaking love that. And so later on, the team was stopped by Alpha Flight, who hijacked their plane, and demand that Wolverine join them. The team escapes under the covering of Storm, which I thought was really cool. But what are your thoughts on that with the team getting, sort of jumped by Alpha Flight?
Smart. I think that was a really good tactic to, put them in a mist storm that they can't get out of. You take down the plane, you force them to get scattered, and then you take them out one by one. That was the smart play, right? Instead of trying to go after them all at once, because they are at a disadvantage, especially with Storm on the team. So this to me was the first point of showing strategy from Alpha Flight, and we're gonna get a lot more of that as we talk about it later on. So this was a good sign at the beginning.
Yeah, and then Sasquatch like tossing the plane into like the bunker. I was like, that's crazy. And them trying to move and because of Sasquatch, which I thought was cool. And Hudson kind of just being like Captain America. It's like, get out of there, y'all. But him not wanting to cause any harm. I did like that. He was like, don't harm them. Like we gotta do this civilly. Johan, do some of your thoughts on that in terms of Alpha Flight?
That's like the one cool thing that they did ever. Like, I thought it was I feel like when you're going up against a squad that that's like really kind of has so many elements that can overpower you, I feel that like you kind of got to go in with a little bit of a strategy. I thought that was pretty interesting that they at least tempted it. And Sasquatch, even though I still think she's corny as hell, shut up, bit. Um, I thought that was cool that like damn, Shorty is a little strong. All right, you got some heat behind you, but you still there's still a bunch of corny ass niggas at the end of the day to me. So like, it's cool. Everybody gets one. A broken clock is right 12 times a day. Like so, what's that Drake mean? Ooh, like, that's how I feel about it.
I'm screaming. Johan. I'm not Johan. Blair.
Yeah. Like Johan was saying, yeah, they all corny. They all corny. They suits don't even match. They ain't got no type of matching color
True.
schemes like that. Aurora and North Star look good. I'm not gonna lie. And Vindicator would look good if he didn't have that dumbass mask. But I digress. Everybody else look like fucking fools. You know what I'm saying? What is Shadman? What is that? I feel like that's a little bit derivative, and we might have to check that because that man looks like a whole white. But we're gonna. I digress. The outfit though, what is it? He's got the orange on the yellow on the green with the gesture looking joint looking at it don't match, it don't mesh, nothing looks right on them. They all look disgusting. Even Cyclops calls him out. Even I gotta shade my man's a little bit, you know what I'm saying, but you doing some shit wrong when Cyclops is calling out how sloppy you is
Right.
dealing with the team, because he's
Right.
over here like, yo, Moira McTaggart done almost died, and you almost, the last time you tried to get my man's Wolverine. You almost killed all these other innocent people on American soil. What was y'all doing? Y'all sloppy. He's like, that was an accident. If you don't get your motherfucking bald, ugly Canadian flag looking ass up out of here, nobody likes them. And what else happened? Fake ass. What was it? Rick Flag and Amanda Waller back there. They can get the fuck too.
I
Everything about them is corny, so I guess that's pretty much. And Sasquatch did have one, like they did have their moments. Like I said, they outsmarted, the X-Men that one time. You know what I'm saying? But that's just why they don't try the X-Men again, because it's never gonna happen again. And Sasquatch did have, her like, one, two cool moments. Peter's been getting slapped around sort of, in the last couple issues, but other than that, they all corny. Like the the unmatching costumes, the corny language, white Amanda Waller, all of it. I don't like it.
so kind of like I guess it's kind of sum up this issue. I because like the whole like China, the whole idea of like we're in Canada, so let's go and try and find Storm so close so she can blend in. And I'm like, she's a black woman in Canada. Do you have to do that? Like, I'm just like, is that even necessary? We're wasting time here, people, and it helps to find them. And I'm just like, anyway, but I do like Hudson, how he's trying to do this diplomatically as possible, but so much chaos is happening that he has no control over. that he's not able to converse what he feels or what he wants, really. He has no control really over his team because Sasquatch's doing whatever the hell he wants. Everybody kind of like all over the place. And I felt for him, and he kind of even says like, I'm not even supposed to be leader of this team. It's Wolverine. It's supposed to be Wolverine's team. So what are your thoughts on that with Hudson as he's like, and we also realized that Hudson leaves a leftover like residue from his ability suit thing, which I thought was kind of cool. A detail they added in. But yeah, what are your thoughts on Hudson trying to get all this together? I'll go Blurred first.
Well, see, I give it to them like you said, the little thing with the residue that he leaves with his little powers. I'm like, at first that sounded a little nasty. I was like, ew. But when you think about it like scientifically, it does make sense because it's like he's doing energy projection and it should like disrupt all like the atoms around you and stuff like that. So I thought that was kind of cool. Other than that, it just seemed like really like try hard. It felt like, again, like, oh, this is supposed to be like it didn't make me like Vindicator anymore because I was just like, oh, it's supposed to be Wolverine's team. I was like, if you don't nut the fuck up and get your band of weirdos and tighten the fuck up, like at least go out swinging, like if y'all would have at least like tried to fight or something like that, I would have gained a little bit of respect for Alpha Flight, but they just literally just standing around there in a circle like a bunch of like new people at a job with no supervisor, just like not knowing what the fuck to do. And they're just sitting over there like they look like the most pitiful super team ever. It's just none of that looked right on them.
I feel
Two
that same
thumbs down.
way. I feel that same way, Emilio. Like they're like it's like I'm trying to think of a comic where they put like a ragtag team together and niggas was trying to figure it out. It's like an Invincible when they had put the new Guardians of the Globe together, and
Right.
like they were just fucking up, man. Like they just didn't cut. And like I think Black Samson, such a fucking racist name. He was just like y'all, like you could have did this duplicate, and you could have did this firecracker dude, and you could have did this, and it's just like y'all really were just like, all right, y'all the team, and y'all got the skill set, but y'all really don't know how to really carry it out. So I don't even know. I guess y'all thought y'all just like was going to go beat them up, like this was like you're going to button mash your way into beating these niggas, and it's like that's not how this works, bro. This is a coordinated team with Scott Summers, and like I feel like you should be able like you should got that, but you thought these niggas were soft because they kids, but no, like no, you the kids for real in this situation.
I'm screaming. So I guess since we're all kind of already ready for this fight, any last words on this issue before we move on to issue 27? Because all this was a lot of like chaos and Nightcrawler got kidnapped by I think North Star and JP. I don't know what I forgot what his name is. And then of course Cyclops got jumped by Sasquatch, which I thought was cool. I was like, all right, it's not a little behind up.
They keep trying to jump my mans, and I don't like it. All right.
Wolverine was just chilling through his hood, looking at
That's
the
what-
poverty. It was like,
that's-
damn.
I mean, they
The
know
fuck
they
I'm
can't
saying.
go up against the X-Men 1v1. They know they have to use tactics, sneaking up on people, going after them in public where they can't use a full range of their powers. They have to go at it extremely tactically because they cannot go power for power against the X-Men. They cannot. I mean, they do a really good job coming up. But after this, I mean, you can never do it again. You catch them once, you'll never be able to do it again. So,
No. Are you already going? Y'all ready to go into the next issue?
yeah, let's get it.
Yeah.
All right, last issue 27. Shout out at the Stampede. Cyclops, Colossus, and Storm search to rescue Wolverine and Nightcrawler, who were kidnapped by Alpha Flight. Hudson's power create a no-speed energy field, which I said neat in parentheses. Which the team used to locate Nightcrawler and Wolverine. They are cautious, even though they know it's going to be a trap. Because they see Wolverine and Nightcrawler literally in the middle of a field tied up, and they're just like, all right. And this is where we kind of see everyone show up, which, like you said, I think well, before we can tell, we also got some government officials. We were like, are y'all really picking a fight with the X-Men. Do y'all not know what they did for Japan literally 2 days ago? Is y'all on crack? And I
Listen,
did like that part.
the fucking the racism, the context, the subcontext there, the racism is wild. You go ahead and save the world. They still gonna call you a nigga.
So but yeah, more of Alpha showing up. Yeah, they, they kind of look regular. Banshee Camp is not in play, but we see Colossus and Hudson kind of go at it. And like you said, Cyclops calls Hudson out. He's like, bro, keep your teammates in line. What are you doing? Like, what is this? And then they doing some sneak stuff behind the scenes, and Colossus is like, y'all gonna jump us? Nah, like I'm gonna get the first punch. Like I ain't gonna sneak nobody. So what are your thoughts on that with I think it was, who was it? North Star, yeah, trying to like do some sneak stuff, and Colossus like checked him on it. I guess Yohai.
JB or Amelia can go first.
Okay.
Sorry, my dogs.
No, I loved it because we get Colossus getting that lick back. My man's Peter kept getting snuck. You know what I'm saying? They kept getting my man's from behind, him and Cyclops. This could, or they keep trying to go for Colossus because he's the strongest one. It's like, all right, let me go knock him out because he's the strongest. So my man's finally getting that, get up and go that we see in the comics now, where he's not asking questions no more. I love that for him. He smacked the shit out of not just North Star, but he smacked the shit out of Colossus. Not Colossus,
Hudson.
Sasquatch too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that I thought that was good, even though that didn't work. He got smacked up after that. But you give one, you take one. That's how it goes. Still proud of my man. And then the whole, like I said, the whole interaction with Cyclops and Vindicator was just so great because like he's calling your boy out, like bruh, like have you even studied this shit, bruh? Have you even done the work that I did? I was in the lab doing the homework, bruh. I got 1,000 hours VR. What you need? Like, and you over here thinking that you teaming up with people, and all of a sudden, and y'all just in a circle thumbs up your asses. Like he really goes on Vindicator, and I'm just like, again, this just shows y'all how like fucking ass Alpha Flight is. And the worst part is this is early comics. They don't get any better. They don't get any better from this. This is horrible. But it goes to show you. So I love Scott always getting his moment, you know what I'm saying? Scott Cornelius Summers, nutting up and giving people the verbal smackdown.
I
Love
love
that.
how he calls people Mister. Like, when you get called Mister, that you in
Listen, he was
trouble
like,
with
so let's hear,
Cyclops.
Mister. He
Look here,
hit him with the
Mister.
Mister, and then hit him with the underhanded point, not the I pointing at the cat meme point. He hit him with the underhand. He's like, look here, Mister.
Right.
I don't like how you run things.
Exactly. It's funny. I actually put this. I was like, how do Cyclops and Colossus know the names Alpha Flight? Did they do introductions earlier or what? Because like we're Colossus literally is like, what is North Star doing? And I'm like, how do you know his name? You just met this man today.
That's what I'm talking about. See, that's the type of commitment that Cyclops has. He's like, man, see, bro, I know all of you. My team knows all of y'all. He's like, what is North Star? He's like, how does he know my name? He's like, because he read my fucking briefing.
It's so
Like, he's like, do y'all got a briefing? No.
Currently now, because Hudson didn't have his briefing when he first showed up.
So I'm saying, that's what Scott was saying, disorganized.
I also put, glad to know Snowbird is normal when addressing Storm, because she just but JB, what are your thoughts on this little school fight? Because that's what it was. It was just a school fight. Meet me after lunch, bring your friends, I'll bring my friends, and let's go at it.
Yeah, this was probably peak Alpha Flight. Like they were organized and disorganized at the same time, because I really appreciated watching these two different teams led by two different leaders interact with each other, right? There were some moments that I really liked. Snowbird and Storm, right? Snowbird is keeping Storm, on her toes, right? Making sure that she can't support the rest of the team, right? While you have Shaman with his like mist wall, like disorienting the rest of the team so that they can't see everything. There's a lot of great stuff that they have going on. You have Sasquatch fighting Colossus. Colossus is being a bit reckless in the beginning, but this is where Cyclops' good leadership is like, dude, what are you doing? And then Colossus switches into judo and completely takes out Sasquatch. So I like seeing that stuff. There's a lot of great stuff going on here. I also like that North Star is being the speed store, supporting everyone, right? If he's needed over here, he's over here. It's just like, okay, Storm's doing this, so let me go over here, right? So as far as Alpha Flight, I think they actually did really good teamwork against the X-Men in this situation. So I did enjoy the exchange again, watching these two teams again by two different leaders. And then this is where they separate, is where I don't think Alpha Flight ever, like, they need more training, because Shaman's spell gets completely out of control, and without Storm, Canada would be fucked, right? So these are things you need a danger room where you can test the limits of your abilities and as a team in order to stop stuff like this from happening. And this is where Cyclops is like, dude, I don't like the way you run shit in the field. Like, there's too many mistakes. People's lives are at stake. You have to get this shit together, my guy. So I love the exploration again of these two different teams trying to do good, have the same mission, but doing it completely differently. So I like the back and forth.
I 100% agree with that. And I did like how Shaman's like spell reflects on itself, because we all know Storm is aware of how her powers affect the weather around her, how when she uses it, how it can affect somewhere else, and it's a lesson she learns, and so she's careful about it. So I do like how here where Shaman Storm swoops in, she's like, I know how to handle this, I gotta do this. But it was crazy, bro. Like, she literally was in the middle of that trying to control the winds and like to drag certain thing. I was like, this girl is just MVP again. I loved it. But again, like you said, having a danger room, being aware and learning from her powers after having used it in Africa as she was, worshipped as a goddess, and being aware of what she was doing to other tribes in the area. I love that little tidbit. So further on, JP was getting on my nerves. So before we go on, Bearded Blur, have any thoughts on all of this before we get
I said mostly everything I wanted to say. One thing that I did want to I echo what JB said about Cyclops correcting Value Sound Cat. I it's just like he's such a soldier, and like he's just like, well, our orders are to capture Wolverine alive, and it was just like, well, you're doing it recklessly. Like, that's my orders. It's just like, bro, like there's a way you go about shit. But some of this, I thought what I did think was cool about this chapter, this part of the chapter, was that we're introduced to North Star and Aurora, and I didn't really know where they came from. Just reading them in X Factor and shit, and reading about them and stuff in the Koa arc. So it was just like, oh, okay, this is where they came from. So they eventually end up with the X-Men. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I was just like, I like what I mentioned as well as like a North Star running, because I didn't really know much about North Star. So when I read about him in Krakoa, I read like, oh, how fast is he really? And I was just like, oh, this guy is like fast as shit. Like, so it's just like really cool to see him actually helping out, like actually working his team. And like JB said, it was really well coordinated teamwork using their powers. They're just reckless with them because they don't have training, so they don't have that they use their powers on a macro level, but on a micro level they're like really failing at it real heavy. So I definitely appreciate it. Kind of makes you appreciate Summers more, because like he knows how to show his team how to use their powers and actually use them in an effective way. Because Alpha Flight, while it's cool they're using their teamwork, they really weren't as effective as they could be. And I'm not shouting out Scott Summers immediately. Like, that's fucking crazy. Like,
Scott, you got to, man. Look, when Gene's not around, he's a great leader. He is. Like, we gotta give him props on that. But it's like he loses.
Pushing the agenda, no.
Right.
That's the agenda. Listen, I'm telling you.
But
Scott Avon Summers deserves your respect.
I'm sick of you giving this man these middle names. Like, what is his real name?
Black ass middle names.
Right. But kind of going back to Storm, the writer loves Storm. I just love how they explain how she like takes the winds and uses her as like a medium to channel it in so it can disperse out like evenly. I was like, this is so freaking cool, bro. Having this much power control over, and of course it spins her out. And then here comes JP trying to sneak punch her because he's like, you strong, we're gonna get you out. And Psycho was like, is you crazy? No. I freaking love
strategically that was the right move, right? It's just like, oh, she's the most powerful. She literally took a storm, channeled the energy through herself, and dispersed it in the sky above Canada. I just like, oh, I gotta take her out right now. And I love that Scott just blasts him in the fucking face. I was like, yeah, Scott, let's go,
right. And he was about to kill North Star, and then here comes Wolverine being like, enough, because Wolverine's been kind of quiet through all of these panels. Really, he's kind of been like, is this even worth it? No. So I do like how his Wolverine was like, look, we just it's not worth all of this.
Like, that definitely got me, because I love the little role reversal whenever that happens. You have the nice little role reversal between them. He's like, look, these are my peoples. Scott's over here, Scott run up, gun up, Summers out here, ready to just blast people's face off, which justified. Look, you put hands on my peoples, that's like committing a crime. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but I see Wolverine, like, even though he had a little soft spot for his little, ragtag, dollar store Avengers. They was great. I just love the role reversal where he's like, all right, I'm the one that needs to be pulled back, Scott Sims, because again, you fuck with the team, you get gunned down, and that's just what happened. So it's like, again, you still have that you still get that that the layers of him where he's just like, okay, he's fallible in a lot of ways, and he's just like, he's the team member, he knows all this stuff, but he's still prone to like getting angry, doing all that stuff, which makes sense. That's his family. So love that interaction.
I love how when he decides like they can take me, and Cyclops is like, nah, bro, like your fight is our fight, your beef is our beef, like we do this together, we blood. I love that. And Wolverine was like, it's not, all of this chaos is not worth it. And I forgot, I think Shaman put a barrier around all of that, because Banshee's like, they taking too long. I want to help, but I can't scream, but I want to do something. So it's like, I did like those details. I think it's Hudson that is effed up how they're like, here's a cage just for you, Wolverine. It's like, really, you're really gonna be talking ish after this man willingly gave up himself?
That really got me too, because it's just like, it's whiplash, because it's like, yo, this man, we gotta have him, and he's so important, and that's gonna be the leader of our team. We get him. All right, here's this cage, bro. We know you have this thing about cages too. That's definitely gonna fuck up your PTSD, but go ahead and just sit up in here for a couple days, whatnot. I was like, damn, and so that just kind of got. I'm just like, damn, bro, y'all. That's why nobody likes y'all.
Also, is the truck made out of vibranium? Because it can't hold Wolverine. What was the point? You might as well just like let him roll in like a regular truck or like a plane or something. Like, what was the point?
And Wolverine even says that he was like, and your wife will be a widow before her time. I cracked up at that. I was like, Wolverine, why are you bringing wives into it? I understand though. All right, so in the end, y'all, the X-Men are sad. We lost the homie, and then another woman piloting the plane. I love that. And then they're like, no, we ain't gonna let this stand. We all gonna go back. We gonna find a way. And then Wolverine's like, hey, I'm here though. What's good? And I'm like, how did you get here so quickly? What were your thoughts on that? I don't know how you felt. I was like, what? Like, yeah. It was crazy.
That shit did blow me too, because he really did just sit over there. It's like, you ever see Anchorman, where he's just like, news team assemble, and it's just like, it really was Wolverine, just like, after they done busted in, they done smacked up all these people, they probably done broke it all, however many international laws, and then Wolverine's just sitting over there. It's like, I've been here literally the entire time.
Literally were escorted by the Canadian government to make sure they left the country, and then even it took the pilot. She noticed Wolverine first, and I'm like, "Girl, what? How? like I don't know. I was like, okay. Oh wait. Okay, I see now. Okay, so he was there. Okay, he was there the whole time. I was looking at the panel now. I'm like, oh, okay. So he was sitting next to the pilot. I thought he was sitting next to Cyclops. I was like, how the hell did he get? But no, all right. He was there the whole time. All right, that makes sense, I guess. But still, that was
It's
quick.
just so funny because even Cyclops' face, he's just looking at him like, oh, that's embarrassing. Well then, moving on.
So what are your thoughts on it? Because in the end, the government told them give up on this. Like you gonna cause an issue. Like we don't want an issue with these people. And they're like, yeah, let that man be. We'll get him another time. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this final issue? Johan?
I'm on 27, right?
Yeah.
Wait, come back to me.
Okay.
Come back to me.
Blurred. I think everyone. I think JP already said.
Yeah, I just the entire
Yeah.
issue right there, I just thought it was just again like I love the way that everybody just kind of like came together for, for Wolverine. Like again, like how you said, it's like he's like, yeah, nah, fuck that. Even Sky's like the dude who, this smelly, ugly, short little man is just keeps pressing up on your ex that you keep having feelings for, and you're still like, bro, like, yeah, that's fam though. That's the mutant homie. So his battles, my battles, it don't matter. That just shows how much of a stand-up guy Scott is. You know what I'm saying? So we got again this whole issue, and then again some pretty good action here and there, and again some really good punching bags because I always like seeing Alpha Flight, get they ass whooped. So just really love that. Really love the whole, leadership role that my man's, Scott, Tavante Summers done, led the
I'm gonna
whole
need you to
team
stop giving
in.
this man black middle names. I'm gonna need you to stop.
Listen, just Scott was right. Just believe that's the shirt that I'm gonna have next time. Just worry about that. But yeah, other than that, you know what I'm saying? And North Star and Aurora were highlights of Alpha Flight. I can see
They
why they
were.
graduated to the main X-Men team and left, the C League behind. So I definitely understand why they did that. So I gotta shout them out. So yeah, but overall good issue.
Under better leadership, Alpha Flight could be a good team, honestly. Like under
Yeah.
better leadership, because they have the pieces, right? You essentially have a speedster, someone who can lightly control like some elements with shaman. The fact that he can take that magical mist and harden it. Like there's a lot of great abilities. Like you have Sasquatch's like incredible strength. Like there's a lot of great stuff, but it's like you need better leadership and better training. There could be a decent team, but yeah, they don't get better from here. So sad to see
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
it would be cool to see what they could do with Alpha Flight. Like I would like if they, if modern Alpha Flight comics, I would be curious to see like if they actually make them cooler. But I feel like to make them cool and to make them actually like someone that you care about, you would have to make us interested in Canada. And I just don't see
Right.
you have to really make us interested in the characters as a whole, and in order to do that, you're going to have people who are like actually really really badass, and explore their stories more. I just don't think Alpha Flight is just that team for that.
Because it seemed like we said before with Hudson as him being a soldier, like the team operates as an army group. They don't really it didn't seem like they had any heart, like because I did know that they weren't like really communicating with the X-Men. They communicate with each other, like you said, remember the danger room, like they have this rapport with each other, whereas I feel with Alpha Flight, it's like we're just doing the job here, you know what I'm saying? Like I guess the most like relationship we get is with North Star and his sister. Other than that, like everything is just business as usual, operate by themselves, and that's why Hudson has no control over them because they're just like, you just gotta get this job done. So and that's why they lost in the end because that's like that. But yeah, they do have potential. I did like this group a lot better than the other matchups that we got with the groups that the X-Men have fought previously. And it seems that the issue ended as if like they're gonna get disbanded. But we will see. I'm not familiar with Alpha Flight like that. All All right, it's time for the MVP. Who's the MVP of all these issues, y'all? Who y'all got?
I'll go first. I'm gonna say Banshee. As much
I
as I
agree.
as much as I want to give it to Storm, Storm gets it a lot. Banshee put everything on the line. You have to remember, the Magnum Force had enough power to destroy all of Japan, and he was able to use his Sonic Scream to match that power and only focus it to destroy the island that housed the Magnum Force. He won the day for the X-Men, allowing them to fight another day and to saving all of Japan. So for me, yeah, Banshee's the MVP of all these chapters today.
I agree. I agree. Blurred.
I gotta echo that. I gotta give it to him. Saving an entire country of, multiple giant islands can kind of is pretty MVP worthy, even though my man's was he knocked out the rest of the duration of our read. You know, did I
Yeah, you're frozen a little bit.
am I froze? Anyway, but the whatchamacallit, I think the he gets MVP for that one, definitely 100%. Maybe I give him like half MVP because again, I have to give it to the leader, the 100% man's 100 grand, Scott Demetrius Cornell Summers. He gets everything because again, like the way his son's Alpha Flight, the way he completely again come all the plans. Again, remember everything that they did was all a brainchild of my man Scott Damian Darnell Summers.
I'm crying with these dang middle names. Johan, give me your
You're gonna have to
MVP.
write all of these down, bro.
I know he keeps, but I'm laughing because I actually found out that Tim Drake's middle name is like it's like something block, and I'm like, what? Like like it's like Johnson or something. It's something where I'm like, that's a black name. What? Why did they give Tim Drake that middle name?
I have to give it to Banshee as well. I mean, like I'm about to see Oppenheimer tonight. And like like that was like a horror movie for people in Japan and shit. And like when before Banshee pulled up, it was looking kind of oppy outside. So like I can't like not give it to Banshee. He came in there. I didn't laugh at my joke. I don't appreciate that. But like
It was a sad moment. I was sitting in a sad moment.
Stop it, real obvious.
but you can't give it to someone who like basically risked their life. You cannot give him MVP. He risked his life to save the whole country, and not only the country but his team. And then like again with him going through his little emotional thing afterwards, and I think if people was there for them actually being there for him, you gotta give it to bro. Even his team recognized him as the MVP.
Yes, Banshee. And Banshee gets MVP as he should, as he should. Mans can't scream no more. So I love that. I love that.
Yeah, we
All
love him.
right.
Yo, give him a halls.
Yes. So I guess favorite issues, and then we're gonna wrap this thing up. For me personally, I would have to say my favorite issue. Mm, I I guess I guess it probably would be 25 just off of like I guess the cool teamwork of like Cyclops working together with Sunfire. I thought that was a really cool thing that the writers did with these characters, like to put these two together to do that. I'm like, that's ingenious. I love that. And then I guess I would say the final issue, just seeing like Storm, do all of this and seeing them fight Alpha Flight and just carry out like this a homie, we gang, we ain't leaving you, Wolverine.
Yeah, so picking a favorite one is kind of hard because I'm between 25 and 27, but I think I'm going to go with 25 simply because of the stakes. Again, having the team being split up in 3 different teams, Cyclops having to trust Nightcrawler to get to the right spot, to lead them to the right spot so that they don't run out of oxygen, they don't burn up, get crushed by, thousands of gallons of water under the seabed, and then Banshee's sacrifice. Like, it all came together in this amazing moment. Like, it would have been like a slam dunk out of the park if Magnum was a better villain, but everything else surrounding him I thought was really, really good. So, favorite chapter this time, I gotta go with 25.
Yeah. Blur, where'd you go?
I don't even know what happened to my webcam, for real, for real. Something, it just decided that it just was like, nah, y'all good.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But I don't even know what happened with that. But my favorite issue probably would be our last one, like 27. I love that issue because again, it shows once again just how much like it's a one of those issues where it's like, Alpha Flight is like one of those perfect like starter anime villains where it's just like they're just good enough, but comparatively to everybody else, absolute garbage to what's gonna come. To where it's like everybody is a complete foil to everybody else, where it's just like everybody can show out that much better. Sasquatch is so powerful, but still not as powerful as Colossus, you know what I'm saying? Vindicator, for all of his stuff that he can do for his somewhat badass costume, he still almost gets people killed. He's sloppy, and it's just in every single way my man's is just not it's just getting people messed up, and it gets called out again by my man's again, Scott. And again, Scott, just another shining example of why my man Scott Taquavius Summers is the MVP of all of everything, because he's just like, when you really think about it, it's just like this whole team. It's like, what did why did y'all lose? They smacked them down, and they really was just like, all right, well, what did we learn today? It's like y'all wasn't spending no time in the gym. Y'all ain't had no time in the gym. We got like 1,000-hour VR sessions. You know what I'm saying? We bout this shit. We whipped into shape. And y'all just ain't doing the homework. Y'all ain't on our level. You know what I'm saying? In the fighting
You
game community, we would say they didn't spend enough time in the lab.
I
So
came with you in this love first. I love that you love Cyclops so much. Like I appreciate that. I can't relate though, but I love the love that you share for this man. Johan, and then we're gonna wrap things up.
You need to leave, JB. Not JB.
You need, although it's not looking good for Cyclops currently.
My
I
favorite
mean,
chapter was 25, of course. I mean, Cyclops. You did your thing, man. Fuck you, dog. I definitely like, again, you can't help this. Like as JB said, the stakes in that chapter was a lot higher. All the other chapters were just like ultimate bull. Why can't I say fucking words right now? It was a bunch of bullshit, but they just had to deal with. They usually always deal with. But that first chapter, it was 100% solid. I only got no complaints about it.
lit.
Wolverine thing in it too. That was cool.
Yeah. All right, y'all. That concludes today's podcast. Y'all want to tell everybody where they can find you at? Starting with Blair, work our way up.
well, everybody, you can find me at once you could see me visually on my Twitch channel. I'm usually always playing some Street Fighter. I'm kind of trying to take a break. Armored Core 6 is about to come out, so I'm gonna be on that. Again, check out on the Nobi Gaming channel. Again, September 18th. Again, there's also tickets still available. It's going to be at the Wyndham Theater in New Jersey. Please come to that if you're anywhere around New Jersey. Waka Flocka versus Sonic Fox. Again, please come to that. Or again, if you're not can't come to that, the Nobi Gaming channel or the official Mortal Kombat Twitch channel, September 18th. That's going to be 7 p.m. is when it starts. We'll see how long it goes. Come see your boy there. Other than that, I'm just going to try and find some time in between that to get these video essays written. You'll probably see me on YouTube, youtube.com/Blurred Central. And if not that, you'll definitely see me talking some shit on whatever it is on Twitter, or X, whatever we're calling it now. I'm not doing that. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. On twitter.com/Blurred Central, you can see me talking some shit or generally talking about anything. And yeah, that's what I'm doing.
That's cool. It's gonna be in Jersey. I have family from there, so that's cool. They're having an event like that there. That's awesome. Johan.
Follow me, Bearded Blur with 2D, Bearded_Blur with 2Ds, and I'm on Instagram, on Twitter, Bearded Blur, Bearded_Blur on Instagram. Definitely follow the Cage Awards and pull up for Anime Improv. I've been doing the space for Laura Olympus folks, doing like kind of every other Monday in between Anime Improv. So definitely check out that, check the Cage Awards. Oh yeah, check out my OnlyFans where I go in there and I basically for all those who got defamation kinks, some of my greatest hits, Johan Drags, I don't got OnlyFans, I'm joking. But
I was gonna say, I was like, are you
Listen.
wait? I was trying to be like, wait, is this something new?
no.
Listen, no, we got support the homie.
Someone told me I need to make an OnlyFans of me just dragging people on the timeline for those people who got kinks of
That's
being
definitely a kink.
and so behavior and shit. So I was like, maybe I'll make some money. Who knows what's gonna happen? So exclusive content, no news, no lewds, but it will be rated X. So just check it out. Maybe it'll be out one day. We'll see.
I'm not gonna lie.
Only Drags is crazy.
Only Drags, I love that. Cause I'm not gonna lie, when Omni-Man told at the end of the trailer was like, you should have died at birth, I was like, damn, why I don't know.
That's Johan. That's
Literally, I
Johan.
was like, why
That's
did
Johan
I
on the
feel
timeline.
something when he said that? It was the energy behind the words.
She was a pet,
Crazy. JP, let people know where they can find you.
You guys can follow me on Twitter at JB Exclusive, where I review movies constantly on the timeline, either new releases or movies that I'm rewatching, things that I discover on streaming. I talk about it all on Twitter. Or you can read my full reviews on carefulforspoilers.com. You can also see links to all of the podcasts on the Seafresh Podcast Network. Check out the Recast Cast, where my hosts on that show, Brad and Blake, they take a movie and they recast the entire cast with new actors. It's a really, really fun show. Check that out. I'm actually going to be starting a new podcast with my girlfriend talking about the top 25 most influential sci-fi movies ever made. We're going to be breaking down the production, how they were shot, the cameras, all of that stuff. It's going to be a really high level review of the most influential sci-fi movies ever. So really excited for that. So follow me on Twitter, follow the website for updates on that.
That's freaking dope, bro. I can't wait to listen to that when it drops. Like, because I remember when I watched Alien, I was like, this is still fire. But yes, love that. Y'all make sure y'all follow us on everything. Mutants Only Podcast on YouTube. We're trying to get these subscribers up, so it will help us a lot. Like these videos, share with your friends, comment down below your thoughts on any of these issues as you're following along with us. Follow us on Twitter, Mutants Only Pod. I'm gonna start posting more stuff on there. We post a little bit of our thoughts on the current run comics of X-Men as well as the throwbacks. So go check us out there. Check us on Instagram and TikTok, Mutants Only Podcast, everywhere, y'all. Appreciate y'all support. Follow me on Special Entertainment on Instagram, Specialty Talks on YouTube. Got new videos up. And yeah, remember y'all to always stay mutant and proud. And we'll catch y'all in the next podcast. Peace.
Peace.